Hi, I'm Umar and I'm a professional colorist and I'm here to help you color at home. There are two things to keep in mind when you're purchasing hair color. One, a realistic expectation, and two, where do you want to go? So for example, let's say I've bought my hair color and my hair is dark and I'm wishing to be a blonde. That's not going to happen. You're going to actually have to go to a professional. If you are brown and you're looking to be blonde, you may only be able to get to about dark blonde. These are kind of the rules of purchasing color inside the store. If you are very light and you wanted to go dark, you may also want to go to the salon because there are some steps in the process which may make your hair a little bit more ashy and not so realistic in tone when you get the finished result. So that's just a little bit of rules for you guys to know at home. Now the easiest color that you can achieve at home is colors that are usually 2 levels lighter or 2 levels darker, and the reason why is because the developer is designed, the one that comes in almost every standard color is about 20 volume. Now that may not make any sense to you, but what you need to know is that means 2 levels of lift. When you apply your color, there are going to be some rules you want to remember. Number one, always wear gloves because these products will seep into your skin and they're very toxic and can usually lead to some type of health issue later down the line. Two, I recommend for ease of application, a good old-fashioned bowl and brush. Not so much the applicator, because what is important is actually placement of the color. Women tend to have two problems, women and men actually tend to have two problems when they're applying color at the house. Number one, they tend to overlap where the new growth is versus the old color. You want to make sure you keep that hair color only on the new growth first, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So you're applying the hair color to the new growth. You want to make sure that you apply it in very short, very tiny subsections, and I'm going to show you on the mannequin in a second what I mean when I say tiny subsections. Okay, so we have our color. We've mixed part 1 with part 2. You want to make sure you mix it very well so that it is consistent and even all the way through. I like to start in the front, especially if I have gray, because this helps it get covered very well. So I told you small subsections. Those subsections should really be no more than about a half an inch to a centimeter. The thicker your hair is, the smaller the subsection should be. The thinner your hair is, the more close to a half an inch or a fourth of an inch it can be. Remember I told you to make sure you only apply it on a new growth. So anything, let's say this was the hair color, the hair that already been previously colored, you don't need to go over that again. There's a special and separate technique we're going to use for that. Always start in the front, making sure I'm brushing color onto both sides. It really helps if you section the hair off with some type of a clip, so that the other hair is not getting in your way as you work. If you can, make sure that you are neat as possible to avoid stains on the forehead and also dripping color onto the bathroom floor or kitchen floor, wherever you are applying. It also can help you if you use like some type of petroleum jelly or Vaseline around your hairline. That'll keep the hairline from staining. I'm only going to use one section of the hair so that I can show you all some little tricks to help you out. Okay, so this is our first section, and you will complete this process through all 4 sections of your hair, making sure that you cover it very well. You want to go back and clean up if you have any color that may have stained the forehead or begun to stain. A good way to take that off is with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and water, or using a little bit of color mixed with water. Next, you move to application for the ends. So what we're going to do is blend through the line of demarcation, and that is the line in which the old color stops and the new color begins. One little trick that I use to keep there from being a very different color line in between, or what they call a color blend, is by combing through. So you want to take the color using a fine-tooth comb, sectioning out, and these sections can be slightly larger than your color application sections. And gently comb and drag that color onto the older hair. Okay, like so. What this does is blend any color that is new with color that is old, softening the line and giving you more of a natural look instead of a harsh line that says, I used the color that was new and it didn't match the old color. So this will help you soften that line and create more of a blended look. Okay, now when you're done with that, the reason you don't want to take your old color that's mixed in the bowl and apply that directly to hair that has been previously colored is because, remember I told you 2 levels of lift, this is 20 volume. That volume is too strong and too high to apply to the ends of this hair. So one trick I like to use, and this will help you to be able to refresh your ends without drying the hair, is to take about 2 ounces of water or less and add that to my mixture of color. You can either mix this with a whisk or a brush. Then you want to go through and spray the hair and mist it with water. And what you're doing when you do this is you are lessening the strength of this 20 and you're taking it down to where it will act as a toner and not a color. And that's very important because you don't need to have 20 volume sitting on your hair that has already been previously colored. So we've applied the color, we've let the color set for about 10, maybe 15 minutes, and now what we want to do is go through and either tone or freshen the hair. So remember I told you we were going to mix about 2 ounces to the remaining mixture of color. We've done that. We've gotten the consistency completely emulsed into a nice jelly formula. We're going to go back in now, and you can take larger sections than your original application. And you want to massage it all the way through, making sure that you saturate it all the way to the ends. That part of the hair that really, really needs to be refreshed. And here I'm taking almost about a 2-inch subsection. So this goes relatively quickly. We don't want to spend too much time on it because you want to get it on as fast as you can so that it can get freshened up quickly. Okay. Remember to continue massaging it in with your fingers. This is why it's so important to wear gloves, because you're using your hands as a tool to do a lot of work here. After you finish this, it should take about anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to freshen up the ends. You want to let it sit for about 10 to 15 more minutes, and then you're ready to shampoo your hair and finish your color. Okay, so let's recap. Remember, when you're purchasing the color, 2 levels lighter, 2 levels darker. If you want to go more than that, you may need to consult a professional. Mixing these 2 together, make sure you mix a consistent batch all the way through. It should be completely mixed before application. Remember, when applying, apply to the new growth only, the area that has not been colored, not the area that has previously colored. Once you've done that, don't forget, you want to take a comb and rake through, and rake through, gently blending that line so you don't have what we call a color band, that line that has a different color than the rest of your hair. When you've done with that, then for the last part of the hair, you want to freshen or tone the hair by applying it to the previously colored hair that had already been colored before, all the way through the ends. Saturate, massage in, and allow to finish processing and shampoo and rinse. Again, thank you for joining me. My name is Umar, and for more questions about my website, salon, or services, please visit me at beautybyumar.com.